Hi, this is Iris and I just came back from a little photography course. I'm not even sure if I can call it photography course. I think they call it photography course. It's more of an introductory course for people who just got their first semi-professional digital camera. I have an Nikon camera and I've had one for several years. I just recently got this one, the one I'm recording with now, so I could do just this, recording as well. So I went to this course, it was free and I thought, why not? It was okay, bit of a recap, very beginner, but still enjoyed it. So I thought when I came back home now, why not do a small recording? Because I'm actually really tired, but it's a bad idea to go to bed now. They weren't serving coffee there, can you imagine? Sitting for 3 hours with no break, no coffee, no water. And we must have been close to 150 people in a tiny, tiny room. And the smell, not good. Anyway, so what to talk about today? This is episode 2 and it's been too long since the previous episode. But I do have something to talk about because I received this. This is kind of cool. So I talked at a conference or 2 conferences in Boston earlier this year. Sorry, last year because we're in 2014. So I talked at the Better Software and Agile conference, and I did a keynote at one of those, and I got really good scores. This is from the keynote. Out of 10, I got 9.22, which I'm really happy with. And then another session I did, I got, what does it say, 8.3 out of 10, which is, still fairly good. What is really interesting is when you read the cards, like the comments people leave, and I actually haven't read the comments. So I thought I'm going to take a couple of minutes and I'm going to read the comments. But I flipped through them just really fast and realized that they sorted the comments. So the worst ones are at the back and the best ones are at the front. And I don't really care about the excellent, excellent, excellent. Those are good. Those makes me happy. What I care most about is the information that they write on the back sometimes, which I don't know if you can see. So what I'm going to do now is actually read the worst comments I've gotten and respond to those. Right. So the first one I had here, and mind you, I did get good scores. I'm just trying to find out why some people seem to dislike my stuff. I got here content, poor, worst. I got bottom, I got 1. Presentation, I got a 5. So this is interesting. I always find it really interesting if you watch a session for a full hour and then from 1 to 10 you score it the worst thing you've ever seen, like bottom. When people are so dramatic, it's really hard for me to take their comments seriously because that means they're only on a black and white scale. So it's not good information for me. But regardless, this is what it said. Presentation had nothing, highlighted under nothing, to do with building better software. This session wasn't about building better software. The session was about how to build better developers to then enable them to build better software. So he hadn't read the title. Information that was shared was very basic and very old concepts, such as SMART goals. I actually presented smarter goals, it is an old concept, but it's still being used for goal setting. I did not learn anything from this session. Well, that was really unfortunate. I'm happy that the person still kind of gave me a half decent score on the presentation skills, but it's interesting how I got this comment. And then I have another comment here that says here, very engaging and really good information. So you have 2 people sitting there in the room. One finds everything really useful and really good, kind of, wow, I learned something new. And then another person finds this to be like the worst shit crap session he or she has ever seen. So that's very interesting. And that's something to keep in mind because when you do sessions, you will get these polarizing views from people. And you should really focus most on where the majority of the views lie and those that are kind of more in the middle. Even those that only tick wow, 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 wow and everything, it's still kind of on the extremes for me. So I do like the people who are somewhere in the middle of the scale and they provide both some positive and some negative feedback. But this is not the only thing useful for me here. Is that he says or she says that the information was basic and old concepts. So for me that would mean, okay, I need to double check my information and make sure that there aren't any new concepts I should be bringing up in the session. I've done that and I still disagree with the comment, but had nothing to do with because he misinterpreted the title. I can't really take anything from that comment, unfortunately, but I appreciate getting feedback regardless. So let's see if I find some more here. Examples were too many. One would have been enough. Stay more on topic. So in this session, this person who ranked me in the middle on both content and presentation. So this topic I use a lot of storytelling, which some people really, really love. And it seems to be kind of the fad right now to do a lot of storytelling when you do presentations. But here is a person who didn't like all the storytelling and kind of thought it distracted a little bit from the content, even though the stories had to do with the content. And I find this very interesting because me personally, I actually don't like a lot of storytelling when I go to sessions, but I do know that the majority of people do like storytellings, and this is what the cards tell me. But I am completely agreeing with the person here, but we seem to be the minority, unfortunately. I could, however, cut down a little bit on the examples. So that's something definitely I'll look about. Okay, be more concrete and to the point, but at least she looked okay. Okay, so this is a person who scored me slightly higher on content and presentation, still above average. Now my looks, appreciate it. I got a kind of an eccentric style, so I'm happy that people tolerate that and it's not offensive in any way. That's cool, although I don't think my looks should really have anything to do with the session. To be more concrete and to the point. I actually thought I was, so I'll look through the recorded session because I always record them, and I'll double check because I know sometimes I can kind of not lose track of what I'm saying, but I'll go in a tandem, I think it's called. So good. This is good feedback. This is all good feedback, really. So no hurt feelings. It would hurt my feeling if everything was like really bad. So here's another one who wrote a lot. I hope I can read this because it's hard to read. Looks like a girl wrote this. I'm not sure what my takeaway was, whether on building personal development plans with my team or mastering time management techniques. I loved hearing the story of the Vasa ship. Very entertaining speaker. Please have her come back. And presentation was top score. Content was towards the high end. And this is good feedback. So I knew that in this session I was kind of covering quite a few things. I was trying to mash together all the best recommendations I had gotten and I knew of in regards to, become a better developer or starting on the journey at least. So this is good. I definitely think I need to scope it a little bit better. And I do wish I had. The session is based on a almost 3-hour Pluralsight course or something. So obviously it becomes a little bit too dense in a 1-hour session. So this is good. This is a person who loved the storytelling about the Vasa ship in contrast to the other person. Right, another one. Could possibly use a few more detailed software developer examples or scenarios throughout. I completely agree with this one. Because I'm a little bit known, not a lot, but a little bit, I try to avoid using stories from when I've been working as a developer because my teams and my workplaces are very easily identified. I will, however, think about examples that I can use that wouldn't cause any issues at work. Thank you for this. Here, nice presentation, and this one I got both 8 on content and presentation, so still pretty good. Nice presentation, but a good chunk of it is about time management, which is a bit of a different topic than the title of the session. So the title of the session was how to build better developers by and allowing them to build better software. And I think for me, at least, time management seems to be the biggest issue, because I give people a lot of advice and I've gotten a lot of advice, but what are you going to do with it if you don't know how to manage the time? And that seems to be the biggest problem, because it's the one thing we can never have enough of. I think I do wish that time management was a different topic, but I think giving advice on all the things you should be doing without giving you the resources and information on how to find the time to do it, it's kind of a waste, because you get all the, you get ambitious and you want to do all these things, but you don't know how to find the time. And then you have to go to another session to learn how to find the time. So it's trying to combine the two with mixed results. I see the majority seem to like it, but some find that I could scope it a bit better, and I actually agree. So maybe I could make the time management part a little bit smaller, just a little bit. Right, and those are all the comments, and the rest here are just really the rest of here is just awesome, and those are good for my ego, but in terms of building a better session next time, in terms of building better software, I do appreciate the comments that people take the time to write these things. And even this one, which was a bit dramatic, he took the time, and he might need some anger management as well. I don't know. I'm just kidding. So for people writing reviews, I have to say that at least I do read them and I do appreciate them. But I would really encourage people to kind of take that extra second and think about what you want the end result to be. If you just want to insult the speaker, you're not really going to get anything out of it. He's going to just think you're an idiot, and he's not going to do anything about his or her session. So try to provide feedback on something that can be changed, and something that isn't personal, like a personal matter of taste, like what you prefer. And just leave comments on looks outside of it, unless the person is wearing something or saying something that is offensive, in terms of like your religion or your culture, because sometimes we do that and we're not aware of it, and we really should be, since we represent companies and so on when we do our speaking. So these were those. Now for the keynote, I don't know if there's any point going through all the comments, because it's a lot, and I don't have so much time to record. This camera records only 20 minutes maximum. It's a hardware limit because it gets too hot. And the first comment I can't even read because it's kind of like written all curly and stuff. I'll just flip through them quickly and see. So most is very positive comments, which I really appreciate, and a lot of people actually sharing some of their personal journey as well, because my keynote was very much on my personal journey. So that is kind of cool, and this type of notes I keep because this mean a lot to me, because these are people, and I care about people coming there, and I care about their stories as well. So yeah, these were really good pep talk, yada yada. So this is really good stuff, and I have to say to the conferences, I really appreciate them actually sending the reviews and getting back to me with my scores so fast. I really appreciate that. If they wait too long, and I'll say this to people who organize conferences, don't wait too long with returning results, because we'll forget what happened, and it makes it hard for us to analyze what actually happened. Some conference gave me my results back almost a year later, and I have no idea what I did, and it wasn't recorded. So that doesn't help so much. So, just give the results back really fast. Maybe ideally even straight after a session, if it's possible. For speakers, if they have these type of notes, you can wait until they've collected them in and ask them if you can flip through them. I did that when I was there. That's why I did that on my keynote. So that's why I know what kind of are on these cards. I didn't do it on the other session, however. And if they have a bucket and, you know, people put in yellow, green and yellow cards, you can always just look into the bucket and kind of get an idea of the scores you got. Or you grab some of the people working at the conference and ask them if they could check out your scores. I do that when I have several sessions, and if I deliver a very similar session, I'll ask for my scores on the first one immediately, so I know if I need to adjust something for that particular audience. Particularly if I'm very not sure of how many people are from a certain platform or the level of understanding and so on. So spend the time wisely, and spend the time wisely on using these reviews and reflecting on how you present things, because people take their time and money to go to your session, and you have a lot of responsibility, but so do they, of course. So do they. And that is it for me. I have a session next week at Geek Girl. It's a girl-only user group. I'll be speaking about continuous integration. That's going to be really, really fun. I'm going to go super hardcore and rather advanced. So I hope they can keep up with that. I'm looking forward to that. And I have plenty of conference sessions coming up. I did 37 conference and user group sessions last year. I do not plan on doing as many this year. I did have more opportunities because I was also working as a technical evangelist. So some of those sessions were paid for me to go and speak there. But I do most of it in my own time and kind of pay for the time myself. So I'll have less sessions this year because I want to focus on programming because I need the time. It's all about time management. Anyway, thank you for listening and tuning in. Let me know what do you think about sessions and feedback, giving feedback, receiving feedback and so on. Looking forward to hear from you, and take care. Bye.